So today's term is assistance animals. And we're talking about also, sometimes people refer to this as service animals or service dogs. So let's take a look at what our actual definition is. Assistance animals, also known as service animals, an animal specifically trained to help people who have disabilities such as visual impairment, hearing impairments, PTSD, seizure disorder, mobility impairment, autism, and diabetes. Okay, you look at that list and you go, all right, that's a pretty big list. And how can an animal do all of these things? Well, as we move on to our working definition, and we look just specifically about what this is for autism, the animals are trained to assist an individual and intervene with challenging behaviors, such as self-injurious behaviors, depression, safety issues, anxiety, and the list goes on. We are going to be having a guest on the show in the second hour today. We're going to have one of these fabulous assistance dogs here with us live in the studio. We haven't ever done that live during the show before. We've had Skype calls with live animals before, but we've never had a dog sitting with us in the studio when we were live before. We've taped, but not live. So this is going to be fun on a stick. I just can't wait. I love animals, and we had an opportunity to meet some of the animals from this particular trainer when we were at Fullerton Cares Mardi Gras for Autism, and said, let's do it. Let's do this in the studio. But over the years, we've met a lot of individuals who train assistance dogs, and we've met a lot of individuals who have an assistance dog, excuse me. And then there are also something called companion dogs, which is an entirely different set of training. For right now, we're just going to talk about assistance dogs. And these are the dogs that when they're working, they're wearing a vest that identifies them as an assistance dog, which allows them to go to more places. You know, if a restaurant can say we don't allow animals, but they do allow assistance dogs. Legally, they're allowed here in the United States to go to places because they are a support for the person with disability. In terms of autism, we've met young people who, I'm trying to think, I've met a 23-year-old woman who had an assistance dog who helped her to identify when she was about to have a seizure. And when you think about how helpful and the safety issue involved with if you're about to have a seizure, and that, you know, people who have seizures can get hurt, and there's the potential even for loss of life if they hit their head when they have a seizure. We've heard some very high-profile cases of exactly that happening. I'm thinking of right now Jet Travolta, who had a seizure and hit his head in the bathtub. These are very, very serious issues that a service dog can't completely prevent, but if we can prevent even a little bit of that, it's worthwhile. But that's just one of the things that we can have service dogs for. We have a lot of individuals who are on the autism spectrum who will engage in perseverative behavior that is self-injurious in many different ways. We've got people who, when they're having sensory overload, will hit themselves in the head. I'm aware of a case of a girl who had such severe anxiety that she would peel her hands until they bled. Her hands were just raw, and she got an assistance dog, and the assistance dog is a very reinforcing distractor. The dog, was trained specifically for that behavior. And it took time. The dogs usually go through a year of just general training, and then they go through sometimes another year of training for the specific individual that they're going to help. So they're taught very specific things to do. And this dog was taught to put their nose between the child's hands so that they could not pick their hands any further. And because animals are so reinforcing to so many people, and they don't lie, they are earnest. There's just something about animals. They're hearing and taking information in on a level that I don't know that we fully understand yet to this day.